Gear Tasting Radio is brought to you by Imminent Threat Solutions. ITS provides knowledge that empowers individuals with indispensable skill sets to explore the world and prevail against all threats. Right now, as a special thank you for all podcast listeners, we're offering 10% off in the ITS store. Simply use the code GTR to save 10% at store.itstactical.com. Welcome to Gear Tasting Radio, where we offer an in-depth look into the usage and philosophy behind the equipment in our lives. I am joined today by Rob Henderson.
Hello.
And myself, Brian Black. I'm not really joined by myself. I'm kind of just here.
It's a technicality.
I'm here. All right. I'm here.
Present.
So this episode, we kind of generated on a whim based on a question that a reader sent in to us. So read the question, then we can kind of go into that.
This is from Steve. Hey, Steve.
Steve.
Hey, guys. I'm not sure how best to contact you guys, but as a new listener to the podcast, I have questions about the best underwear for rucking.
A nude listener?
New listener.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
He's
asking about underwear for rucking, so you never know.
Right.
Have you covered this topic? Do you have any reviews or suggestions? Cotton don't cut it, but it sure chafes.
Cotton's rotten. That's for sure.
That's true.
So, yeah, we started talking back and forth about underwear, of all things.
It's like, hey, do you want to do an episode on underwear?
Yeah, let's do an episode on underwear.
I don't know if we could get a full episode out of that.
But it kind of prompted us to start talking about things we rely on, kind of the unsung heroes of our everyday lives. And underwear is kind of one of those things. It's a little bit of a faux pas to talk about around some people, but most sets of friends, if you get into a discussion about underwear, you'll have 10 conflicting opinions. You're talking to 10 people, so it's rare, I guess, that people agree on underwear. I know that sounds so weird.
It is.
But Rob and I both agree on underwear. And actually, what spawned me in wearing what I wear is my friend Jason Christ, who kind of turned me on to those. Not turned me on in my underwear, but turned me on to underwear. He suggested, something that was moisture wicking, and I've never really considered that much. In properties for underwear, and I'd heard about the Ex Officio brand. That's what it is.
That's good that we got that out there, because people are thinking like boy shorts, like lace, like.
And that what did they call them? Boxer briefs or something like that?
It's the Ex Officio Give and Go brief, is what they're called.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
It's
they're
like
called that.
Give and Go men's boxer brief.
Wow,
is what they're called.
That's a terrible name, but anyway.
Yeah. Well,
I do like their underwear a lot, but I like them because they dry quickly.
Yep.
They're inherently antimicrobial, which means they don't hold stink, and that's something that is important in underwear, especially when you're wearing them for multiple days at a time if you're out in the woods and things like that. And granted, most of us in our daily lives aren't in that situation, but it's good to know that I can depend on them for that. And my history dates back to when Under Armour first started producing their boxer briefs, I guess is what they called them. That's why I guess I said that earlier, but. And I always really liked those. I mean, I wore those in the Navy forever, and I just loved those things. And this was, I guess I probably first started wearing Under Armour stuff in, I don't know, maybe like 2000, 2001, something like that. And I had those pairs for a very long time until they finally just wore out. And they lasted an incredible amount of time, but I found over time that when I'd go to replace them, the newer ones just didn't have the same quality as the older ones had. I don't know what it was about Under Armour, but as they kept kind of upgrading their underwear line, it just got worse and worse. And I never found that I liked them anymore. And then it was interesting when Jason told me about the Ex Officio stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'll try those. I'm always willing to give stuff a shot. And actually, before that, I was wearing Patagonia stuff. So
Capilene?
Yeah, so they had the Capilene underwear.
Which is also super comfy.
Yeah, and I had a bunch of pairs of those, but I would always have problems with them riding up my legs and stuff like that, and just being uncomfortable. But they were kind of a moisture-wicking type material, too. So I guess I was already kind of in that boat with the Patagonia Capilene stuff, but I wound up getting rid of every single pair of those I had.
I mean, the Ex Officio is a game changer.
Yeah.
And not to get creepy about it, but you just have to put them on.
Yeah.
And everything you're talking about with Under Armour and Patagonia and stuff, they all have good features, but they have a little bit of a downside, whether it's the material or whether it's riding up or whatever. And the Ex Officios, I found that we haven't talked about it before because I never even think about it because it's just there.
Yeah.
And like, yes, these are expensive. I don't know how much they are per pair, but you can
They're
usually
like
get them on
20
Amazon.
bucks maybe, or 18 or something.
Which
like
I know,
that.
you know, there's guys out there that are buying like 6 packs of Hanes for like $10.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but like we're specifically addressing his question about rucking.
Yeah.
And like that. But also the ex officio is just daily life.
Yeah.
Like I've just replaced everything. It's the same thing we talked about on the footwear episode with socks. Like I have darn tough socks.
Yep.
I wear them every day, and then if I'm going rucking or something, I'll wear them as well.
Yeah, I still have the basically these smart wool socks that they don't make anymore, and I have a bunch of pairs of those that I wear on a daily basis. When I wear socks with shoes, socks with shoes, shoes with socks. Anyway, so when I wear those, that's what I wear, and I've completely depleted all cotton undergarments from my wardrobe.
No reason
it's just,
for it.
I just don't have anything that's cotton anymore. It's just I've just been so used to living by that cotton's rotten mantra for so long now. I just don't have any. I don't have any room for cotton.
Yeah,
ain't nobody got time for cotton. But yeah, it's terrible. It holds water. It doesn't dry out. It's a terrible insulator. There's just so many things that
it's soft.
Wrong
but that's about the only thing it's got going for it.
Yeah, so I mean, I even try to stay away from cotton T-shirts when I'm out in the environment too.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Well, and so that brought us to this kind of like we're talking about stuff that we use on the regular. That's kind of the unsung hero, and that most of this stuff I think is in an effort to consolidate down to the same thing, like we were just talking about, like replacing all of it. Because if it works super well when you're rucking, you know, I was super guilty of having like 2 pairs of the ex officio that I only took out like when I went hiking and stuff like that. But why do that when you could just be just as comfortable every day? And I mean, I have like 8 or 10 pairs of them, and they all look brand new. Like there's no issues.
Well, I think that's an adult thing.
Yeah.
Like when I finally grew up, I realized that I could allow myself to spend some money on socks and underwear. It's like you look at the price tag on there. You're looking at it going, well, $20 a pair, so I'm spending $200 in underwear. Oh my God, I'm spending $200 in underwear. Like, just let yourself do it.
Right.
Like,
it's like when you
just
discover
let go, man.
You can buy silverware.
Yeah.
So like you don't have to have like the spoon that you
I'm an
pass
adult
around.
now. I can do that.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, there's tons of little stuff that we use day to day that doesn't get talked about as far as gear. I know you were talking about like your Sonicare toothbrush.
Yeah, I mean, like I use the Sonicare toothbrush,
which I didn't used to.
I love it.
But then I got one, and it's like, oh wow, yeah, this is great.
Well, so I tried the Quip thing for a while. Have you heard about that? The Quip toothbrush.
The little, is it little?
Well,
like the portable.
No, it's a battery powered toothbrush.
Oh,
so
man. Okay.
It's kind of a, I don't know. It's one of those toothbrush disruptor technologies, you know. So they've got
game changer.
They've got an interesting model, and that's what drew me to it. So,
Gotcha.
Quip does this thing to where they sign you up on a plan. You get the toothbrush for kind of a reduced price, and they've got refills that they send you, which is actually a very smart idea.
Sure.
So you get the replacement head and the new battery every 3 months. So
that's awesome.
Basically you use that refill to kind of tell you, oh, it's time to change my brush head. So it's kind of a neat plan because it gets you into that habit of changing your brush head and replacing the battery, which would be great. But I used it, and I didn't find that it was cleaning my teeth as well as a Sonicare. I still have it, and I keep it. That's what I travel with, so I use it as my travel toothbrush now.
Cool.
And obviously, I have no reason to replace the brush head as often because I don't use it unless I'm traveling.
Sure.
So the refills have just been kind of piling up in the drawer.
Oh, you're still going on them?
Well, so I signed up for a plan to get a year's worth of refills.
Okay, so it's
and
all
I think
at
that
once.
finally got exhausted on the
So
last
you just
refill
have
I got.
refills for days.
Well, I have like 4 of them sitting in a drawer that I haven't used. So I've got plenty. So when
good backup.
when that subscription plan runs out, I've already canceled it or whatever, so I don't have it anymore.
That's great.
But it does make a good travel toothbrush, and that's kind of where it's been relegated to thus far. But I just found that it wasn't cleaning my teeth well like a Sonicare would. So
the Sonicares do a great job.
They really do.
I mean, you can get replacement heads on Amazon, or like I get them at Costco for a little cheaper, so it's not as expensive, but it's much less expensive than dental work. So
that's true.
A lot of these people are using the old soft bristle toothbrushes and stuff, and it's just not as good.
Well, I grew up with my dad wearing out toothbrushes. Like I remember going in the bathroom and his bristles look like
frayed.
It looked like it's like someone just like flattened it with a car or something, and I don't know. He would wait forever to change his toothbrush, and I don't know. I think it messed up his gums too, but anyway.
Well, and I think that's kind of a trade-off. Like a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about is probably a little more expensive, but what does it bring to the quality of life or you know, how much better does it make things?
Yeah, and that's kind of my opinion too with what I do on a daily basis too. Is I try to structure things to where I might have multiples of something, but it's stuff that I use on a daily basis, and I've always got a replacement for it. And because that's one thing I've just found as I've gotten older that I hate. I hate running out of things.
Yeah,
I can't stand it. I can't stand the feeling of like I just used the last of my toothpaste and now I got to go to the store before I can brush my teeth again. I hate that. So I always keep a spare of everything.
That is a very adult thing, because I only in the last like 5 years have I realized, hey, you know, you can buy more than one bottle of shampoo at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to take the price up or down. Yeah. You can just get it.
I don't know how old I was when I finally realized that, but yeah.
So now when I'm getting shampoo, it's because I took the last bottle out of the drawer.
Exactly.
And I'm not like washing my hair with hand soap from the sink.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good point. You talked about razors a little bit before we started.
Yeah, so I use an old school Gillette straight razor.
Okay.
So like an old safety razor blade that I replace. The blades are made by Derby, but
are they dual blades or single?
Well, it's a dual-sided blade.
Okay, so it's a dual-edged safety razor. Nice.
Yeah, so I'll replace that. I'll actually flip it over before I replace it. But
how often are you finding you're replacing the blade?
I don't shave on a super regular basis anyway. It's mostly just my neck, and I trim my beard up. So yeah, I don't have to replace them very often at all.
That's great.
It's like maybe once a month, maybe twice, something like that. It just depends on how often I'm shaving my neck. But I don't go for the whole hipster like hairy neck thing.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
The neck beard.
Kelly would kill me anyway, so I don't do it. But yeah, that's something I switched to a while back because I would get razor burn from like the Mach 3. Yeah, it's just a way to say the Gillette razor blades.
Yeah, whatever Mach they're on now.
Yeah, whatever Mach they're on. Whatever speed they're going.
How many blades do we need, guys?
Yeah, so and Kelly actually recently switched from just the Gillette razors that she was using to that Harry's thing. So she now gets razor blades from Harry's.
See, I'm on Dollar Shave Club. It's pretty much the same thing. But it's just nice to not have to worry about it. They just send it to you.
And I've thought about, because I actually use Gillette razors still. I just use the little disposable ones for like trimming up my neck and stuff. That's one thing I can't stand now that I'm getting older is when my neck hair grows out in the back. And like I'll see guys walking around with like these neck manes, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, what is that?
Just let me at it.
Anyway, but I'll still buy those disposables. And I've thought about switching to Harry's for that, but I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was getting razor burn with the Gillette Mach 3s, and I watched some videos on YouTube probably 10 years ago now. There was a guy on there that, you know, was talking about the benefits of shaving with or using a shaving brush, you know, versus, you know, regular shaving cream that you get out of a can or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess the motion of taking a shaving brush, you know, and lathering it up, but then that, I guess, whirling motion
to the follicles.
Actually,
it raises them up.
Yeah, it's really cool. So
well, and that's, you know, I hate shaving with a brush and a bowl, but I do it every day because I really like the routine aspect of it.
Yep.
It gives me a chance to kind of be calm, and because I'm, you know, cutting my face with a razor, you got to be still and not think about anything. So it's like a nice little 5 to 10 minute respite from the morning bustle. But it's definitely helped. And so, like, you know, I'm on that Dollar Shave Club, which is similar to the Mach 3s and the things like that. But because of the brush and the bowl method, I think it's helped not have as much burn and stuff.
I love the routine of it, too. And, you know, I enjoy putting on aftershave or, afterwards. So it's I like the routine as well.
It helps.
Yep. I think it's kind of other things that are the unsung hero pieces of equipment or I would say shoes are kind of along that because, I mean, everybody wears sneakers or shoes or something like that. And unless you're somebody that wears boots all day long. But I like Converse. That's kind of my go-to, and Vans. And
Vans are great.
Things like that. So Converse are kind of what I've been wearing since I was a kid. So I keep wearing them. The new Converse, I guess they're the Chuck Taylor 2s or something like that. Chuck Taylor All-Star 2s, but they have an actual insert in them rather than the old
Only
school.
took them like 100 years to come out with a version 2.
Yeah, and I like them. They're comfortable.
Help. Yeah. They have the same thing for Vans now. They have a Pro model that has a cushioned insert.
Yeah.
So much better.
And And that's really what my go-to has been. I've been wearing Vans quite a bit. Actually, just recently, what did I get? What are these? Sanux? I guess that's how you pronounce it. Sanuk?
Sanooks.
I don't know how you say it.
They look very similar to Vans.
Yeah, they're very similar to Vans, but I like them because they actually have a cushioned insert in them.
Oh, nice.
It's removable. So I like that. And I like that I can wash them because without wearing socks, my feet get pretty nasty after a while.
Yeah.
My shoes start stinking, which I hate. But yeah, that's kind of, I guess, clothing and things like that. I feel like there's a lot of other things we depend on a regular basis too.
I think a lot of things like electronics, and I mean, you and I both use Apple products, and that's kind of like in that same realm as the Ex Officios. Yes, it might be pricey, but like I have a better experience on it. And like on our last data episode, you know, we had a lot of Android people come out, and there's nothing wrong with Android. I have no problems with it at all. I don't have an opinion really one way or another. For me, what I use is Apple. I'm in their ecosystem. It works great. Like I have an Apple TV and a Mac and an iPhone, and so everything just kind of works harmoniously, and I don't really have to think about it. It's the same thing as like we were talking with the underwear and the toothbrush and stuff. It's all just shaving down efficiency to have a better life in general, so I don't have to spend time messing with stuff as much.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the whole growing up thing, I guess. I have less patience for things going wrong, and the more stuff that I can prevent to save time. I mean, time's the one thing you can never get more of.
True.
You know, it doesn't matter if you make $1 million or $10 an hour.
You got the same amount of time.
You got the same amount of time as the next guy, and what you choose to do with it is important. So, I don't know. I value my time, and I spend plenty of time relaxing too on my own, but that's what I choose to do with my time.
Sure.
Like I don't want to spend the time I would otherwise spend relaxing fixing something that you know has broken 8 times on me. So yeah, it's the one reason I don't build PCs anymore.
Yeah, I mean I built PCs for a long time, and it's great, and yes, you can get better performance out of them and stuff, but I was having compatibility issues and things like that, and I just, like you said, you kind of grow up, and not necessarily that like people are immature that build PCs, but like what I was doing was less focused on gaming and getting performance out of my computer, and like I could probably be set on like a computer from 2012 because all I really do is email and not that much. You know, for the video editing and stuff, we use different computers, but like my daily use, it's just emails and things like that. So I just don't require that much. So on the other end, I would rather have it just not have problems that I have to track down.
Well, and then again, there's plenty of people out there that I'm sure that that's what they do in their spare time for a hobby too, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's not what I choose to do. Like, I'm eventually going to get into rebuilding pinball machines because I'm super into it right now, and I don't own any, but I know eventually I will probably spend some time in my life working on pinball machines, but that's what I'm going to choose to do. Yeah. Because I just enjoy it. So
well, and we did that episode on tools, and this kind of is the same parallel of like, you know, getting good tools helps, right? Because it makes it easier, and yeah, you can pull together something that will make what this tool does, but it's half like you could spend half the time just going and getting the tool and working it out.
Yep, agreed. So the other thing that I think is an unsung hero is my morning cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely an unsung hero part of my day.
Yep.
And you know, I've chosen to invest in a pretty expensive espresso machine because I really like good coffee.
Well, so here, like, this is what I love is that on a scale of espresso machines, yours is like a bargain.
I know.
When you tell people like, oh, this is what it costs, they're like, that's outrageous. But I mean, as far as espresso machines go, you made out great.
Well, what I really like about it too is, so I own the Breville Oracle, which is about $2,000. It's no joke. It's expensive. Yeah. I mean, people are out there going, "Oh my God!" Yes, I bought a $2,000 coffee machine, but I drink coffee every day.
It's a coffee robot, basically.
Yeah, and it's great. I love it. Yeah. I've had it for close to 2 years now. I'm coming up on 2 years with it. Okay. And they literally have a phone number at Breville you can call into just for this coffee machine for support. Okay. And I've only had to use it once.
Would you say that you've used it every day?
Yes.
Okay.
And Are you doing math?
Yeah. What do you get? Like, do you make a cappuccino?
No, I make a Americano.
So that's probably $4 at Starbucks.
Yeah.
And so over the 2 years, you've saved $2,920.
Really?
Yeah, they're about $4. And if you did them 365 days a year,
that's more than I thought I saved.
Right. And so, I mean, people will talk about, oh, that's an expensive espresso machine, but I mean, you're still having to pay for beans and things like that. So it's not a one-to-one.
The other thing too is Kelly uses it as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because I go to Starbucks occasionally, and it stacks up. It's very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, over the long term, it's definitely paid for itself. I know, at least, and now I know I've saved a lot too. But I love the convenience of it because I don't have to go anywhere.
Exactly.
It's in my house. I wake up, it turns on. I mean, I really could do an auto start every morning. It's got that feature. I just don't use it. I wake up and push the button. You know, it's just
routine is good.
Yeah. But what I really like about it too is that I actually had an issue with it once where it messed up, and it wasn't a huge issue, but it was. Let me think of what it was. It was the grinding. Yeah, it was the grinding.
Okay.
So the grinder wouldn't stop. Oh no, that wasn't it. It was heating up. I was confusing that.
It wouldn't heat up?
It wouldn't heat up.
Oh,
so
okay.
it like
So
stopped.
your heater
Yeah,
element
so
out.
something in the heating element stopped. And it's got a double boiler, so you can do the frothing or the steam on the milk. And
Which,
then,
if you're a coffee nerd, is pretty important.
Yeah,
It sounds silly, but
absolutely. It's very important.
because you don't want to pour your espresso and then have to froth your milk. That's just no.
Yeah, but the issue I had with the heating, I called the support number. I was like, let's see about this dedicated phone number. Called them up, and they're like, okay, it seems like you're having some problems. We're going to ship you a box and a label so you can send it back. They literally sent me a box. So they sent me the box to put it into to send it back to them. I sent it back to them. They repaired it, and it came back to me with a bunch of scratches and weird stuff on it. And I called and complained about it, of course, because I'm a cantankerous old man now, and I don't like my stuff getting messed up, especially my $2,000 coffee machine. They were very apologetic, and they shipped me a new machine with another box so I could send back the other one. So, I mean, technically, I've got, I'm only a year into this new machine.
That's great.
But at the same time, they've got great customer service. It was cool to deal with them.
Well, and that's another. I mean, as far as like talking unsung heroes, is doing business with companies that will stand behind products and stuff like that. Like,
which is very important to me too.
Not to jump back to clothing, but like I buy a lot of stuff from Duluth Trading because like they have the unconditional. If you're ever dissatisfied with it, just send it in. And so
that's another reason I like shopping on Amazon,
right?
Because they've got great customer service,
right? So I mean, that's when you look at stuff like the Breville and things like that. You also have to factor in whatever happens if it breaks. Yes, you could probably cut corners and get a double boil espresso machine from China cheaper, but who's going to be there to back it up when it stops heating up?
No, I agree.
Because espresso machines are cantankerous. They don't always hold the line.
Yep.
But no, it's a great point.
No, but it's been good, man. And I mean, that's what I enjoy is a good cup of coffee in the morning. It's nice knowing that I have that option and
you get to have it right there. You don't have to drive to the Starbucks.
And I've grown a lot with my coffee preference too. I used to be okay with, using a little grinder that had a blade, and then I discovered burr grinders, and then I was using a Keurig for a while, and that tasted like crap to me. And I was drinking Starbucks for a while, and I realized what kind of burnt stuff they're serving. And it's just I've been through the gamut of coffee, and
that's something you can't really put a price on. It's the quality that you're getting. Because if you were to try to go to like a micro roaster every morning, you're going to pay more than their Starbucks price, and so yeah. And plus, I love cappuccinos, but I don't allow myself to drink them every morning. It's like that's a weekend thing. I'll like one day on the weekend I'll drink a cappuccino, and then the rest is always Americanos because I don't want to drink a cappuccino every morning. Yeah. But and also we talked about subscriptions kind of being unsung heroes too in the background of our lives, and I actually have a coffee subscription too to Blue Bottle out of California because. When I went out there to visit, I just fell in love with their coffee. It's just awesome. Yeah. So I pay, I don't know. I think with shipping, it's like $18 a bag, which is pricey, but it's really good. And if you're looking to get good coffee, I would definitely check out Blue Bottle, even if you don't have an espresso maker, because I have an AeroPress, I have a French press, I have a bunch of different types of manual brew methods, and it's just super simple. And once you get going, I mean, it costs like $50 to get started. You get a kettle that can boil, you get a coffee machine of your choice, and then just go at it. And like the quality difference you'll notice instantaneously. It's impossible not to, especially if you're dipping into the Maxwell House every morning, 2 scoops of the Maxwell House. Yeah. And that's the thing about having a good coffee maker. You got to have good fresh coffee to go along with it too. Like they really suggest that you use coffee that hasn't been roasted
more than like 5 days ago.
Yeah.
Or 10. I think it may be 10. But anyway, as fresh as possible is always better. That's what produces the good crema.
Well, and a lot of people consider it pretentious, but I see the same people that rag on that talking about how they love their craft brew. And, it's like, hey, would you drink Bud Light? If you like Bud Light, that's cool. But if you're the one that's like, oh, I would never consider that, don't down somebody for wanting good coffee. So it's all just little tweaks.
What else do you subscribe to?
I mean, I have all, the gamut of electronic subscriptions, Netflix, all that stuff. And then I have the subscription for Dollar Shave Club. I have subscriptions for... lately, I've been doing subscriptions for stuff like supporting... websites and stuff to kind of help. Like if I read occasionally on the site, they usually have like a donate button and you can set up recurring ones. So I've done that. And that's not necessarily gear that's doing anything to help me, but it helps me because, I get to read their stuff continually because it keeps them in business. But as far as subscriptions, I don't really have like a ton. I used to do Blue Bottle and then I had done another coffee subscription for a while and then I quit doing that. I should probably get back into that, but
I pretty much stopped all my magazine subscriptions. I had a few at one
I used to
point.
have Guitar Player, but that was... I bought into like a 2-year subscription, and then it ran out, and I never picked it back up.
I had Wired, which I really loved reading for a time, and then they got super political, and I was done with them.
Yeah.
But I think I'm still on Overland Journal. That's the only one I still subscribe to.
Beautiful magazine.
Yeah, I love it. But... yeah, and I'll pick up a magazine at the airport once in a while, but I don't really subscribe to them much anymore. I think Kelly's got a yoga magazine that she subscribes to. Yeah, but that's really the only stuff that we still subscribe to. Of course, she's on the Harry's thing and on the Blue Bottle Coffee, but I really think that's it, other than, like you said, electronic stuff like Netflix. And
all the backup programs. My electronic subscriptions list is huge.
Yeah,
but mostly for computer stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's we've already talked about backups and stuff, but that all falls into the same thing of like, I don't want to have to think about it. And I think that's what mostly the subscription stuff helps me do, is not think about like when I need to get razors. It just shows up. Okay, cool. Do I pay a little more inconvenience? Yeah, probably. But it saves time. And like we said, time is one thing you can't get back.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in to Gear Tasting Radio. Remember to use the pound tag Gear Tasting on any social media network if you have questions, and we will try to answer them and field them here on the podcast. Check the episode intel for some of the links for the products that we talked about today. And remember, every Tuesday we have a fresh episode that comes out. And if you're on iTunes, go ahead and give us a subscription. Maybe press that subscribe button if you like what we're doing. Maybe give us a little rating. Maybe a little review.
Maybe all three.
Maybe all three. Thanks for listening.